Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning or this afternoon or this evening, depending on where you are. We are still having people trickle in, but we'll get started and people will join as they do. So welcome again. My name is Bianca. I work with the MenEngage Global Secretariat and I'm the Global Membership Engagement Coordinator. And today's session is one of the CoLab peer learning sessions, and it's with Cambodian Men's Network. And they're going to be looking at transforming men's attitudes to end gender-based violence. To say that there is live interpretation today in both Spanish and French. So you'll see that globe that's at the bottom of your screen. You should see that. You can then click on that and then you're able to select English, Spanish, or French, depending on which language you'd like to hear it in. So do go ahead and do that as soon as possible. And then just one sort of last thing is that we do have some participation guidelines. We're always seeking to create safe, inclusive, and respectful spaces that provide positive learning and engaging experiences. So we just ask that all participants are respectful, that we take responsibility, that we're inclusive, and that we follow online rules of friendliness. And then there is the option, if people are not following these guidelines, to remove people from the room, which we've never had to do, but we just like to put that there just in case. And so I'm not going to carry on for any longer. I'm going to hand over. This is it's one of our members' peer learning sessions. So we like to give them the time and they can introduce themselves in the session and then take us into it. So I'm going to hand over to Li Cheng and Sofiak, and they will take us through the session. So thanks again for joining everyone. And Sofiak and Li Cheng, over to you. You're both muted. I think you're speaking, but you're both muted.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You know, and sorry. Okay, again. Good evening, everyone. I'm Etienne from Gender and Development for Cambodia, of course, and I'm so excited to be a part of this panel session. Yeah, I would give the floor to Sophia. I'm so excited to be a part of this.
Yeah, good evening, everyone from Cambodia. And since it is 7 p.m. here in Cambodia, and I am Sophia from Gender and Development for Cambodia with Li Tian as well. And today I'm very excited to be in this session and hope to like interact more with you guys. Yeah, thank you. So I will share the slide for the starting of Bong Li Tian.
Okay, because of I'm listening, the internet is going down here, so I need to turn off my camera and have to turn on. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Well, today I will give you the overview of our topic, transforming toxic masculinities of men attitudes to end gender-based violence by taking lessons from Cambodia, especially what we are doing at the grassroots in Cambodia. Can you move to the next slide? Yes, when you see the word toxic, you probably understand that it's not, very, very good. It's probably cause a lot of problems to people around. So especially victims, women as the victim of girls who have been violated because of toxic masculinities made by men. Okay, so talking about our network, Seaman, the so-called. It is an alliance of male activists and representatives from different religious backgrounds, and that some of them from Buddhist, they are Buddhist, they are Muslim, and so on and so on. And they also come from different parts of Cambodia, different communities, walks of life, NGO and CSO, especially also some of them are also ethnic minority. But when they join us, they have commitment that they're gonna be a part of ending violence against women and promoting gender equality in Cambodian society. So all of them will play a role as a man to be a part of the solution, not the problem anymore. Okay. And our networks was formed in 2000, and we'll tell you the reason why it is created and how important it is that we have to engage men. But why not we only work with, only one side, which is the victim, who are the victims, such as women and girls. Why it is successful to be to engage men to be a part of the solution. Okay, why our CMN? Our Cambodian network, it is a bridge that to close the gap between the conflicts or the problem between men and women, and we also try to eliminate patriarchal system in our country, and we also want to promote gender equality regardless LGBTQI community. So CMN was created to work alongside diverse men because it takes everyone participation and everyone attention to ensure that women problem with girls issue are the issue. So they have, they are willing to help. They want to be a solution, not a problem. So they're gonna be a change agent in the community. So, and then they spread the good message to other men who have a toxic masculinity. So they're gonna change, to be more gentle, kind, and how to live in the family peacefully. Okay, so in Cambodian situation nowadays, we can see that greater awareness of women's rights in Cambodia is better comparing to the past. But when we see the future of what we want to achieve, it is still very limited. So we want to do more. We want higher percentages of men participation in combating gender-based violence. So this is our commitment as a member of the network, and that can be done through our members participate by different kinds, people, different backgrounds, so on and so forth. As of February 2021, there is a research done by UN Women 2023 that 21.6% of seats in parliament in Cambodia, were held by women. So comparing to men, other percentages of seats in parliament are, controlled by men. So comparing between these two percentages, it is a big gap. There's a big gap. That's why we have many works more to do in order to close this gap. We want to promote gender equality. We want to, promote girls and women leadership and subnational level and national level in Cambodia. talking about the household pet work, women and girls age 50 plus spend, 12.5% of the time on unpaid care and domestic work, compared to 1.3 spent by men. It is still a big difference, between, men participate in domestic chores and girls or women, they take part in the domestic chores. Girls and women seem to involve in housework more than men or boys. Yes, men are expected to be the providers for the family, make decisions as the head of the family, while married women participate in household decision making. But who is the decision makers in the household? Still men. Not many women or girls are able to argue with the parent or the brothers, the bigger brothers, because they seem to have a low privilege in the family. They do not have motivation from the father that girls should the father or male in the family do not encourage them to do more. That's why we want to promote female and female participation decision making process, not only in the family but also in higher level of the government. Can you move to the next slide? Next slide, please. Despite greater awareness of women's rights in Cambodia, social norm attitude are still the obstacle to achieving gender equality in aspects of social, economic, and political life within Cambodia. I can tell you that the first king in Cambodian history was a female one. However, because of economic and political situation fluctuation from time to time, from century to century, men seem to engage more in social political level, that they overtake power all in the hand, and while women seem to have less power comparing to the past, and until now they have very limited space in decision making. This is resulted in a number of women that become the victim of patriarchal system. When if men and boys do not engage in the process of our community activities or participate in combating gender-based violence, it's gonna be hard for us to work to solve the problem in our society. It's like it does not fix the problem at all. So this is why it is very important that we have to engage. We work with the victim, but we also have to engage men, so that we try to understand both sides, that why the gap is getting bigger, why more women and girls become the victims of gender-based violence, especially poor country like Cambodia and other countries in Southeast Asia, like Laos, Vietnam, so on. Okay, we can see that domestic violence is a widespread problem because of traditional norm in society that deeply rooted in the society. So it is although domestic violence is prohibited by law, it is often considered private matter. And many women are subjected to violence and do not seek legal or medical help. In Cambodia context, women believe that domestic violence is normal. Even though it is serious, they still do not seek legal support because they are afraid of the husband, because the husband is the breadwinner in the family. So just let it be, everything is, they just ignore it, ignore the solution. They just keep, accept that everything, it's hard for them, but they do not have someone to give good advice that you should do that when you have domestic violence, or provide a good consultation that to women that they should do that, okay? Especially in various settings, numbers of men and boys are changing their attitude and behavior toward women, supporting opportunity for women to earn income outside the home and allow more mobility. And speaking out against gender-based violence, I'm not sure if you have problem like in Cambodia that men seem to have more privilege than women, because the social norm that gives them the power to do whatever they want, while women seem to be restricted in doing things in outside of their home. For example, they want to stay late at night, will be prohibited by the parents because they believe that it's not safe for you as a girl to stay outside late, while boy can do whatever. They can ask permission from the parents and stay late, or the next day they come home and then they can to give reason, so on and so on, and then they accept. This is you see the privilege between men and women they have in Cambodia. So the role of our members in our network is to spread or promoting the equalities through a lot of activity that I will tell you in detail in the next slide by my colleagues. Okay, so can you move to the next slide? For our goal, we want to encourage. This is what we want to see in our Cambodia, that men should participate more to be a part of the solution by joining us to eliminate the violence. So they will also can be build transformative role model. They can be a transformative role model to the younger generation. So we can do a lot in terms of achieving our expected outcome. For example, raising awareness, building capacity, and mobilizing men to achieve a level of understanding of gender issue and gender perspective to actually participate in ending violence against girls and women. Next slide, please. Can you move to the next slide, please? Okay. This is our structures. Actually, on the top of our cement, we have a steering committee, technical committee. And our steering committee is composed of a number of staff who are the senior staff that they can, give advice, provide direction of our network, what we should do in the next 4 or 5 years. And we also, meet regularly, can be quarterly or and the end of the year. to discuss our plan the next year. We also make a joint statement to advocate the government to end violence, gender-based violence. And we also have technical working group. Technical working group composed of there are 4 fundraising that they have to make sure that our network is sustainable, that we can do our job, complete our mission, achieve our mission in the next 5 years, so on and so forth. We also conduct research to know that whether there is any progress in terms of what we do, and is there any change in the government level. So there's a team of doing the research to understand and to analyze the progress of our Cambodia in terms of combating gender-based violence. Another thing is we have a campaign team, a campaign technical working group that work on how we can arrange or organize, for example, 16-day campaign, compose a lot of that has a lot of other activities to advocate the government or to promote gender equality, to raise awareness. And just recently, a few days ago, we conducted a white ribbon campaign in our target area that we try to engage boys and men in the campaign so that they can understand their role, how to be a role model, and how to take care of the families as a role model in the family by finding a peaceful solution rather than domestic violence. Another technical group is in the technical committee called a capacity development team that we try to ensure that those at the grassroots or the members of our network are capable of doing things, are able to convey messages or raise awareness of gender-based violence to people at the grassroots, as well as how to engage or work with local authorities, and work also engage or work at the national level.
Apologies, Li Cheng. This is Bianca. So sorry to interrupt you, but the interpreters are struggling to hear you clearly. And so I'm wondering if you have a headset or something, or if you can speak closer to the microphone or something, but it's difficult for the interpreters to hear you.
Okay, so I move the phone close to my mouth. Can you hear me better?
Interpreters, maybe you can send me a message in the chat. Li Cheng, maybe just keep going then, and I can, if it isn't better, I'll just jump in again.
Okay. Just stop me, okay? If you
Yeah.
don't hear me. And we have a secretariat. The secretariat is we have Gender and Development Cambodia, which is the secretariat of our network, and our members. Recently, we have 50 members from local and international organizations that we work together to combat gender-based violence in Cambodia in terms of discussion and designing annual plan. Okay. Can you move to the next slide, yeah? Yes. In terms of our processes, we have so many activities to ensure that we can participate or involve with other parties to achieve our goal. Some of which are mobilization, that as you can see, the arrow in the circle that means that anyone can be participate to be a member of CMN by either training, mobilization, advocacy and awareness raising, or white ribbon campaign, men dialogue, gender cafe. I will tell you more about that. Okay. Community facilitator. They can be for core group and be the CMN member. So to be a part of our network, some participants are mobilized during the campaign, for example, by different campaign. So we see them as the role model. They can show us their potential. And sometimes they participate in training. So when they are capable of doing the job and they are outstanding among others, we see them as a change agent. So we select them to be a part if they are happy to join, so they can be the member of our network. Okay. I think next slide. That is all from my part. So I would like to give the floor to my colleague Pat. So he will give the insightful part of each activity we are doing as a member or as a network in Cambodia. Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Li Tieng, for the presentation. I hope everyone can hear me clearly, right? Okay, so after we know about the process that Li Tieng has presented us recently, so we're gonna go deep down to what is the tool that our Cambodian Men Network have been using so far. And one among them is training. And as you can see in the pictures, we use art-based facilitation for our training, like clay making, drawing, reflection, and discussion. And our topic for each training can be related to what is gender and exploring toxic masculinity, and also to unpack the gender stereotype that reinforce men to involve in um, gender-based violence. And our purpose of the training also to build the gender perspective among the participants, so that they can apply in their daily life as well. And so let me go to the next slide, but it's about technical problem. I cannot. Okay, let me wait. Okay. So about our training, we normally like try to not to use the training in a like academic way, but we try to make it more simple, like through, like you can see in the picture, like we use drawing, group discussion, or role play, so that to make the space where everyone can participate in the training. For example, like in the community where most of people are illiterate, so we choose any way to interact with them without barrier. And we also use the feminist facilitation approach, that we have to make sure that the space is safe for every participant to share their own story, and especially the respecting during the training. And we end the training by recapping and also create a space for participants to reflect the outline, the facilitation, and also the key message takeaway. So it is our facilitation approach that we use for our training. So the important activity that we use is main dialogue. I think Tiang also mentioned about main dialogue as well in the previous slide. And for the main dialogue, it is a kind of informal discussion among the main group to share their experience, the perspective that they face daily, and also the space to discuss the inequalities, the toxic masculinity, and also other stereotypes that contribute to create the inequality and uh, gender-based violence. So they use the space to discuss together, and like you can see the purpose of the dialogue here, like create space, that space and trust among the men so that they can share each other, build knowledge and capacity by bringing them together and exchange knowledge, and encouragement to create action plan and solutions. And the other one important thing is to unpack their privilege, to make them see the inequality in society and especially in like their own community. Yes. And so to make sure that our activity is not kind of reinforced, like to like to bring to make the ball for men to make more space or something. So we have our cushions. Our cushion here, we use the feminist ideology approach to mainstream in every activity. Like I also mentioned within the training section, we also apply the feminist approach so that to make sure there is no reinforced culture in there, like um like but like we not reinforce but we work with them to transform themselves for other group, like we consider like the vulnerable group. So it is what we have been doing to make sure that our process is effective and uh, yes, and it is well with the like fruitful outcome. Yeah. And you might heard about White Ribbon campaign earlier. And for this campaign is um, like a campaign to end violence against women. And yes, as you can see in the slide as well, it started in 1991 by a group of Canadian men, and it brought to Cambodia by Cambodian Men Networks in 2000. And as you can see in the pictures, we have conduct the White Ribbon campaign annually and with different activities like marching or concert, singing, or like panel discussion within the community and also the city as well. And the pictures is about White Ribbon campaign in 2015, and we have different theme each year. Like for example, like in 2015, we have violence is never acceptable and shift the blame. So we through the campaign we engage not only the the man within as the member of the network, but we engage the local people there as well through our activity. Like we have pin like wearing white ribbon on there to promise not involved in violence. So through our activity, we engage more men. Yes. And so let's see our one of case study. It can be called a successful story as well. And you will see the guys on the left side with the scarf on. Yes, and his name is Miep Chong. He is the musician in the one of community in Cambodia, and he used to be the um like the man who always like drunk and do violent to the wife and children in the house. And he always jealous his wife and just let his wife working inside the household and don't let her go anywhere, like even to the festival or any well like event outside. So she just keeps staying at home, taking care of children and also do household like cooking, cleaning. So um however in 2016 he was elected by the community to be the core group of our Cambodian Man Network. So from there, he was recognized that he is transformed to another person. So how why he transformed? He was able to transform himself like he did. So we're gonna see. So yeah, so the result of his transformation is from several activities like training session, including various topics like gender concept, positive fatherhood, toxic masculinity, and especially the men dialogue that create the space for him to be able to sharing, to reflect, what he has done through the discussion. So he finally aware of what he has done is wrong, and like he started to acknowledge like he should not use the violence to his wife and children, and he also aware that how to be the father, a good father, what is the positive parenting, and also recognize the toxic masculinity that he has so far. So through these activities, it's it's really important for him to like to transform from one person to another person. Yeah, so about our Cambodian men network current situation, like due to the circumstance in 2014 to 2015 election in Cambodia, the situation is not really stable, and so it costs to less in funding. So we struggle with the fund, and so it result in like losing some of our human resource, and so we got lack of the resource, and so for now it affect to now. So now we are rebuilding it, and we currently have 50 member, and we still try to connect it um, to other member as well, so that we can reunited just like before the bad circumstance. So our Cambodian Man Network also um, we work for the transforming policy to like advocate for the policy change for Cambodia. So So we also have research, like you can see this research, which was conducted in 2010. It is one of the resource that could support us to do our advocacy work. So we currently trying to find the resource more to like build our evidence more so that we can um, do our advocacy at a national level. So I'm gonna introduce you about what our research is, and the research is about yes, it's called Dam Trung Pramhat in Khmer language, and it is the research to explore the masculinity and the perspective of men towards women, and also the study of any factor that contribute to violence as well. So it was conducted 2010, but it also applicable this day, but we need to update more as well. And like this is the finding and the recommendation. It's come to the 6 effective entry points as the recommendations, and we have holding men accountability, victim support, legal and economic empowerment of women, primary prevention, public security, and engagement for equality. And we trying to find the resource more so that we can build our evidence stronger, so that we can do our advocacy work effectively for the national level. So, and currently we also looking for the opportunity or like to be honest, we have no uh toolkit like men engagement toolkit for Cambodia context. So we also look for the fund and human resource or any other resource that can fill in this, so that we can use it for our advocacy work or other related activity, even in Cambodia or in regional level as well. So in case
We're struggling to hear you, Sophia.
oh yeah, you still hear me?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah. Yes, and I just want to ask back to everyone that if everyone have joined here who has any toolkit like man engagement toolkit or for any contact, we can seek for the resource for us to complement our work. Yeah. Yeah. So I think our presentation is done now. So Benga, so can we start opening for any clarification or inquiry?
Yes, thank you. So thank you, Sophia and Li Qiang. And just to the participants, do feel free now to put your questions in the chat, or if you'd like to raise your hand and we can unmute you, you can do that as well. There is one question in the chat that I can go to now, and then we can just see if others come up. Sophia, maybe you want to stop sharing your screen now so we can see the participants a bit more. And so the one question that is in the chat is, it says, thanks for a very interesting presentation. Wondering how you include the voice of women in this training. So rather than men talking about women. So Sophia or Li Qiang, if you have anything to say to that.
Okay. So actually we have another activity like it's not our main activity, but through our core group we have women core group and men core group. So we conduct the discussion separately, like a men dialogue, and also Li Tian mentioned about gender cafe. And so both space is like men dialogue is for men and gender cafe is for women. So this is how we work to include the voice of women while we work with men as well. So when we come together and we can bring the result from both groups. Yeah.
Great, thank
So
you.
yeah,
Li
if you need, yeah.
Cheng, do you want to add anything to that?
Yes, it's not only about, we try to understand both sides, issue of both sides, men and women. So we put them in different groups. So we put a lot of topic that female groups want to discuss in in the team, so they can understand each other. If that is really the common issue that they want to raise the voice, or they want to to be solved, or uh, raise this to the facilitator to be to help them. And then another side of men, they do the same thing, They raise a topic of the common issue that they face in their daily life. So when they agree that the topic is really the common one, and they agree that it should be, brought up for discussion, when they want uh, the facilitator to help them. So the facilitator to be the facilitator, of course, they have to be trained well from our team, from our GADC or Cambodian Men Network team. So they are capable of doing things very effectively by closing the gap, try to bring the issue and raise the solution of both sides. You understand what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's great. Thank you. Rosemary, does that feel like it answers your question?
Yeah, thank you. That's great.
Okay, great. And then there is, and I will share this with you, Li Cheng and Sophia. There is somebody, Lakshman has put a resource in there, so we will share that to you. And then there's a question here from Nikki van der Gaak, which is, thanks for the presentation. So good to hear about this excellent work. A couple of questions. One is, I wonder if there are other organizations in Cambodia working with men in this way. Yeah, in this way. So the one is, are there others in Cambodia doing this work with men? And then two, are there any links with wider structures to bring about change beyond individual men and groups? So that's for you, Li Cheng, or Sophia, or both. And sorry, Li Cheng and Sophia, can I ask, because again, the interpreters are struggling to hear you clearly, if you can try and, I'm not sure what, but try to speak clearly and close to the mic, that would be great.
In Cambodia, we also have other organizations. They are working on men and women, same like Cambodian Men Network, but in different target areas. Yeah. And what is another question?
So the second one is, are there any links with wider structures to bring about change beyond individual men and groups?
So
looking at the structural changes rather than just individual men and boys.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Nikki, for the question. And about we about change beyond individual men and group. Yeah, through the Cambodian network, as you can see that our member is not only individual men, but it also the representative from any other organization like CSO or NGO, and also from a private sector as well. So through our activity by engaging them, it is I think we don't have clear structure about that, but I think it's through our engaging them through our network. So we conduct all together, and we make, like, we can see the change, not only individual.
Thanks. Chandy, I
can
see your hand raised. Do you want to speak to that or?
Thank you, Bianca. I just would like to answer the questions that asking earlier regarding, are there any links with wider structure to bring about change beyond individual, man, and group? Anyway, my name is Chandi, and I'm the colleague of the two presenters. This question is very great. You know, in Cambodia, when we are working on gender equality, somehow people would only think about women empowerment, and then they also have misunderstanding about how to engage men. And if they would like to engage men, sometimes they are engaging in the way of reinforcing culture or taking space of women or LGBTQI group. So this is like very dangerous when we use the word engaging men. And recently, we worked with our Ministry of Women Affairs, and they are very interesting with the idea of engaging men in ending gender-based violence. So somehow, we do not have a formal structure on that, but somehow we have an allies, and we know that in the formal structure, like at the ministry level, at the Ministry of Women Affairs, we have someone who is interested with engaging men and boy, or how to engage it, or how to have a toolkits that really put the engagement of men and boy in ending gender-based violence. Just to let you know that in Cambodia, we also have a national action plan. It's called National Action Plan to prevent violence against women. And that National Action Plan have never had any chapter or point regarding men engagement in ending gender-based violence. So we brought that idea to them, and they are very interested, and they would love to explore more. But the capacity and also the toolkit, as well as advocacy and evidence base that we have right now, is very thin, and it is not enough. That's why we would like to build more our capacity, and also the evidence base for more advocacy at the national level. I hope that answer to the question regarding the wider structure to bring about change between individual and group.
Great, thank you, Chandi. I think it does. Nikki, I hope you feel that's good enough. Good. If not, just let us know. You can unmute yourself.
No, that's great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Li Chiang or Sofiak, anything more on that? Otherwise, I can move on. Yeah.
You can move on. You can move on.
Okay, move on. Okay, so then the next one is from Jeppe Troll Lynette. Apologies if I'm not saying that correctly, but greetings from Dare Gender in Copenhagen. Also work with peer-to-peer work to reform masculinity. Wondering if you encounter any organized resistance. Example, organizations supporting a traditional form of masculinity. In Denmark, we get that from conservative men's rights activists who have formed their own organizations. So talking a bit about, I think, the backlash that do you receive any backlash from any areas? It's particularly organized resistance. Is this something that's a challenge in Cambodia? Resistance from other groups to the work that you're trying to do with men and boys around gender equality?
You mean the challenges we have we face?
Yeah, wondering if backlash is a challenge that you face. So your work is about transforming masculinities, and then there are others that are working sort of to not have that, who are more conservative. Wondering if that is an issue that you face in Cambodia as well, where there are other groups that are trying to challenge what you're doing.
Yes. Of course, there are still some challenges. For example, when we train our core groups, for example, women, to be a social change in the community, when they try to raise awareness of combating how to combat or end gender-based violence, they normally criticized by the local community because or they criticize our stuff that we try to brainwash their wife to change their wife to cause more problem in the family. So this is what we are facing. And another thing is the social norm from generation to generation, especially in the government, that they try to hold the power, not to change much. They try to keep things still, and yeah, they don't want to make big changes because some reasons, some reasons like they don't want to give more space for us to advocate for female rights.
Do you have any strategies that you use for this, to counter this?
Yes, as one of my colleagues mentioned, that we try to build a good network with the Ministry of Women Affairs in Cambodia by joining 3 technical working groups. And it's good that they allow us to open discussion among CSO in Cambodia and technical and in the technical working group in the ministry. And another thing is we try to build our network among our CSO to work together to advocate if there is any policy or law that increase or in you can say that they ignore women participation, or the law does not really promote women leadership, so on and so forth. I think my colleague can add more if they can, if they want. Yeah.
Yes, about the backlash, when we were as when we were among the main group for like when we discuss about women rights or something else, we were called out as the like gay group or something else. Like it is the very misunderstanding and uh uh like it's not really um like. And another thing is about the other NGO that were with men as well. And within Cambodia, there are like Li Tian also mentioned about other organizations that were with men as well, but they not really understand about the engagement concept, and at some time it turned to the reinforcement instead of transforming them. Yes, this is also the backlash.
Yeah, thank you. Great. So there's another question in the chat if there's no one else who wants to add anything to that. Okay, so from Jürgen Ross in Akvalita in Finland. And the question is if we can escape the creation or upholding of existing gender norms when using terms such as men, women, and so on. As we discuss, we create or recreate the gender dichotomy. Does that seem clear to you as a question? Or Jürgen, do you want to maybe unmute yourself and share with us a little bit more?
We have things to try. Okay.
Yeah. About this, we now try to use the term which is in even more inclusive, like we use the word of diverse men and diverse women instead. So it's even more, it's like include all party, yes.
Li Qiang, anything to add to that?
Yeah, my colleague already mentioned that. That's okay.
Okay. And then I think I'm just looking at the chat if there's anything else here. That I think is it, unless there are if there's anyone else that would like to ask a question, share a comment. And if not, we're actually going to Li Qiang and Sophia, unless you have anything else you want us some last takeaways, or Chandi, if there's anything else you want to say as we come to a close. Yes, Chandi, over to you.
Thank you, Bianca. I guess there are a few questions that we always address regarding backlash. A lot of men, when they involve in feminist movement or in gender equality, a lot of people would be called gay, or would be assumed by the big group that they are less men than other. Their masculinity is not man enough. So this is also a backlash. So the way that we did it is not only about training or about men dialogue or about regarding the research, but we also do some kind of visible campaign that we have group of like young men and how they can use social media as a campaign to raise awareness about men engagement and using feminist principle in that. Another challenges that I would like to address too, for a network to work better, not only in Cambodia but around the world, funding is very important. But more important than this is the core funding or flexible funding. You cannot like make a network go smoothly without core funding or without artistic funding, because if it is just only for the project funding, we will only do something based on what the donor tell us to do, and that make us less creative and less innovative, and cannot be a consistent of a campaign too. So one of the things that we are also doing a campaign regarding the men engagement work is also asking for core funding and also non-district funding, so we really can make the movement work better. I normally got questioned by a lot of donor organizations who just say, hey, if you have the budget and working on gender equality, why do you have to spend that working with men? See, so these are always a challenge when we got, and it is very hard. That's why a lot of other organization member who used to be our member or steering committee, they also have difficulty to do fundraising for men engagement or for the Cambodian Men Network movement. So I just would like to raise this thing. But if anyone have any good answer for that, or any experiences that you can share with us, so that we can have better knowledge about how to challenge back with those donors, or how to do how to make core funding or non-restricted funding for our movement, it would be very helpful, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, Chandi. I think that's a question that most of the people doing this work are getting. And I might just say that potentially someone from the Secretariat can get in touch, from the Global Secretariat can reach out to you after this and share some of our learnings through that. So yeah, with a little bit earlier than we had planned, but if there's nothing else from anyone, then I think we can wrap this up. Li Qiang and Sophia, thank you so much for putting together this presentation. Thank you also for being willing to go on so late. I know it's now just after 8 p.m. for you. So thank you so much for your willingness to make this work around the timing. And thank you to all the participants for being with us as usual. We do have these once a month. So there is one coming up in December, which will be the Gender Lab. So do look out for the information around that. And we've also got the final decolonization session happening next Thursday. So look out for the information on that. And yes, with that, we will say goodbye. We hope to see you all online soon. And yeah, take care, everyone. Thanks so much. And thank you to the interpreters, as always.
Okay,
Bye, everyone.
bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.